Hello guys and welcome once again to Everdream. Today is the day we conclude our review for the Easter eggs and references for Season 2 of Ben 10 Alien Force. But before we begin, I would have to ask that you make an effort to support the channel by hitting the like button on your screen, as this encourages me to keep pumping out more Ben 10 videos. Feel free to also hit the subscribe button for easier access to more Ben 10 related content, as well as the notification bell to get notified when this new content drops. And now, the video. The title of the episode, Inside Man, is a possible allusion to the 2006 movie of the same name. When Gwen is talking to Tyler about the hybrid, she mentions her brother. Since it's not often we hear mention of Ken Tennyson outside of his debut episode, I thought this was worth at least a mention. Humongous's voice was electronically edited to sound deeper in this episode, much like it was in his first two appearances. This episode's name, Birds of a Feather, is gotten from the proverb birds of a feather flock together. The recurring character Simeon makes his debut in this episode, and, this should be obvious, his name is a play on the fact that he is a monkey, a simian if you will. And one of the first things Simeon does is reveal the race of both himself and Ben's spider monkey transformation to be known as the Arachnachimps for the first time in the series. He also reveals the name of their homeworld, which he calls Arachna. However, in the Ultimate Alien episode, Simeon says, this information is proved false as we come to learn the true name of their homeworld to be Aran Hasimia and not Arachna. So either Simeon was intentionally lying about where he was from, or this is just a simple continuity error. The unnamed baby alien the gang encounters roaming the desert at night, which they dub Tiny, has the ability to perceive Gwen as an Anodite, marking this as the first time we see Gwen's Anodite form. This episode's name is a reference to the 1898 novel The War of the Worlds, written by H.G. Wells, and it begins with our first ever introduction to the Galvin's original homeworld, Galvin Prime, before it goes big. Both the opening scene of this episode as well as the destruction of Asma's tower are reminiscent of the highly revered 1996 blockbuster movie Independence Day. After escaping the destruction of his homeworld, Asmat comes to Earth to speak with the gang. It is here that Kevin's full name is revealed by Gwen for the first time to be Kevin Ethan Levin. The plumber base in Mount Rushmore, which we last saw in the original series episode Ben vs the Negative 10, was again revisited when the gang tries to free Darkstar from the Null Void. Due to his time travel adventure in the original series episode Ben 10,000, Ben believes there to only be 10,000 transformations available for use in the Omnitrix. However, Asmat reveals that there are over 1 million available transformations. He then gives Ben complete access to the Master Control feature of the Omnitrix, something Ben first acquired and lost during the original show's episode Back with a Vengeance. Having reacquired this feature, Ben transforms into 2 aliens from his old playlist, as well as one completely new transformation. In regards to the 2 classics, we first have
Cannonbolt!
Haven't seen him for a while.
What can I say? I'm feeling nostalgic.
So am I, Ben, so am I. I'm not gonna lie, that transformation scene was the literal hype. And mirroring the original series, Cannonbolt is the first alien Ben turns into that isn't part of his default 10, making him once again the 11th alien. Now, there have been some few changes made to old Roly-Poly that I have to talk about. For starters, he's got an all-new transformation sequence quite different from his original one. But that's to be expected, I mean it's a different show after all. He is also no longer voiced by Fred, but instead by D. Bradley Baker, who voices almost all of Ben's current Alien Force aliens. In terms of appearances however, he's largely unchanged. But in keeping with Alien Force's more uniform alien designs, he now has green eyes, a green hourglass symbol, with the Omnitrix symbol being moved from his head to his chest. Up next we have Ben turning into Waybig, a transformation that was first featured not in the classic series but in its feature movie, Ben 10 Secret of the Omnitrix. This form, which was inspired by the Japanese superhero Ultraman from the Ultra series, is once again slightly different from its original design, sporting a more streamlined appearance as well as the now typical green eyes and green hourglass symbol. Moving on to Ben's last noteworthy transformation, which of course is his brand new one, we have Upchuck. And no, this is not a mistake. I know some of you are probably thinking I'm off my meds or something, cause Upchuck's definitely not a new transformation, right? Wrong. The Upchuck we see in this episode is different from the one we see in the original series. This is because the Omnitrix actually has two sets of DNA for Upchuck species, the Gormans, one for each of their subspecies, the Perks and the Mercs, as revealed in the Omniverse episode Tommy Trouble. The reason for this peculiarity is never made clear, and honestly outside of that one Omniverse episode, this strange circumstance doesn't really matter to the overall story. And the reason for this is mostly because there isn't any significant difference between the two subspecies. But before I move on, I would like to point out one more oddity in Upchuck, and that's its Omnitrix symbol is on its belly and not its chest. It seems Upchuck just likes to play by its own rules. Finally, when Ben is misusing the Omnitrix power, it runs out of energy and is forced to go into recharge mode. This marks the first time we've seen the Omnitrix perform its infamous timeout in this series. As Ben turns into Swampfire, getting ready for a fight, he undergoes a brand new transformation sequence. During said fight, after witnessing Kevin take an L to save her, Gwen unlocks her Undyed form for the first time. After escaping captivity on the Hybrid homeworld, Gwen utters the phrase, "Take me to your leader," which is an extremely popular phrase that is believed to have originated in the 1953 cartoon by Alex Graham, illustrated for the New Yorker magazine. As Ben speaks to the Hybrid Supreme, he addresses him as the Top Banana, which is a nod towards writer Dwayne McDuffie's inspiration for creating the Hybrid in the first place, which for whatever reason was bananas. After Ben saves the Hybrid race by splicing their DNA with various aliens from the Omnitrix, at least one Hybrid was confirmed by the writers to have received Celestial Sapien DNA. When asked if that would grant them some measure of a Celestial's power, Dwayne McDuffie said, "Probably not." And to wrap things up, the ending scene of this episode seemingly sets up Ben having an entirely different set of aliens after the Omnitrix's latest reboot. But in the next season, we see Ben still retains his current playlist. The explanation given by the writers is that when Ben said,
"Man, I don't recognize any of these guys,"
he was referring to the new aliens he had acquired after the reset and not about the entirety of his playlist. But even if this is true, it still feels a bit contrived, seeing as the so-called new aliens is really just the one new alien, Lodestar, whose hologram we saw right before the end credits. Granted, the new transformation Rat also does appear in season 3, but it was implied to have been unlocked at the time of his debut episode and not during the ending of season 2. And seeing as how we don't have any other new aliens for the entirety of Alien Force, it seems the writers most likely retconned the ending scene when they realized they would have to make up a bunch of new aliens just for season 3, and so opted to go in a different, less stressful direction. And I won't really blame them if this was the case, but just wish they were upfront about this whole thing to begin with. And with that said, we have just completed our review of season 2 of Ben 10 Alien Force. If I missed any Easter eggs or references, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys liked this video as I really had fun making it, and as usual, if you want me to keep pumping out more Ben 10 content, I need you to subscribe to my channel as well as click on the like button, as doing this lets me know that you guys appreciate this kind of videos. Feel free to also click on the notification bell to get notified when I drop a new video. In addition to Ben 10, I do comic book stuff as well as AMVs, and I'm about to start dropping some anime content. I've been working on the anime Fate for a while now, and I have several scripts ready and waiting to be turned into videos, so there's quite a bit of stuff happening on my channel, and I hope you guys take the time to have a look, as I'm sure you enjoy what you find. Till next time you guys, see you later.